Savannah is the biome located in Africa, large areas of Australia, South America, and India. Savannas are created by humans burning grasslands and cutting down trees so they can plant crops. Big animals are also capable of creating dry territories of savanna. For instance, elephants knock trees down, strip the bark from the trees, and tramp on tree seedlings.
The temperature is usually increasingly hot. It ranges from 20 Celsius to 30 Celsius. Weather includes a 6 to 8 month wet summer season and a 4 to 6 month dry winter season, which is very hard for the inhabitants. During the dry season, lightning often strikes the ground, igniting the dry grass as they cover over the savanna, causing massive fires.
Speaking about plants, grass in savanna grows in patches on bare ground. Trees are rare and located near sources of water. The most popular species of trees are acacia and baobab. Acacia has an umbrella shape with branches and leaves high off the ground that giraffes like to eat. Baobabs deal with dry conditions by storing water between the bark and the meat of the tree.
The vast majority of animals in the savanna are herbivores. Thus, in the African savannas, you can find elephants, zebras, horses, and giraffes. For half of the year, during the severe dry season, there is an intense competition for water among the animals and plants. Some water is absorbed into the ground by thirsty soils. All animals survive the dry season in their own ways. Most birds and many of the large mammals migrate elsewhere. Many insects with short lifespans die in the fires, but the birds and larger animals are usually able to fly or run to safety. Small animals survive the fire by digging deep into the ground. Fork-tailed drongos eat the fleeing or flame-roasted insects. The incorrect water cycle is one of the problems we are going to speak about.
Water scarcity is a huge problem all around the world. According to African Wildlife Foundation.org, around 4 billion people face severe lack of water. Water-dependent animals like elephants and rhinos are already decimated by poaching and also contend with changes to their habitats. In savanna, life is very tough during the dry season. The risk of flash floods and harsh droughts is increasingly high. It's very important to take care of the inhabitants because it's the home to the largest concentration of elephants in the region, as well as the home to significant numbers of big cats and the rare West African giraffes. Small species struggle not less. For example, it's difficult to adapt to the drastic reduction in rainfall and drying up of water holes. People, on the other hand, face reduced harvests and hunger, although local communities have adopted wildlife-friendly mitigation techniques. Rain predominantly falls between November and April, which is the wet season, so the months of May to October, which is the dry season, receive little or no rain. Fortunately, there are always some ways to avoid any issue. For instance, it's possible by building rainwater harvesting systems, constructing small-scale dams or reservoirs, raising awareness about the importance of water conservation, sustainable water management practices, and the impacts of water scarcity on ecosystems and livelihoods. It can help foster a culture of water stewardship and encourage behavior change. Significant scientific information is already available, but much more will be needed in the near future through technological advances, improvements in climate modeling and forecasting, and developments in ecosystem and sustainability science. New and innovative contributions will be needed from all of the social sciences. These contributions will be critical for understanding water use behavior and for devising effective institutions to manage water in times of intensifying scarcity. Speaking about an economic factor, significant investments in the creation of infrastructure may be economically infeasible for developing countries. In these circumstances, small-scale decentralized technologies become very important. There are a number of so-called soft path technologies that focus on increasing the overall productivity of water at the basin level rather than on the development of new supplies. The general approach is to create community-managed low-cost water supply and wastewater treatment technologies and small-scale technologies for irrigated agriculture. Examples include manually operated tidal pumps and inexpensive diesel pumps, both of which are in growing use. Sanitation services can be provided through latrines or septic sewer systems, as well as education on basic hygienic practices. These local solutions can have a significant positive effect on the quantity of food that can be produced with a fixed volume of water. China, for example, has tripled its water use efficiency while decreasing overall water use through a variety of both local and large-scale technologies. Further science-based technology developments will be essential to solving the world's water problems. Improvements in rainwater harvesting and micro-irrigation technology are two examples. The development of more salt-resistant and drought-resistant crops may be particularly important. There are a number of avenues through which wastewater reuse can be further developed, although the attention must be paid to potential health risks. Research focused on reducing conflicts between agricultural and environmental uses will also be important. One measure that could be particularly helpful entails the use of ecosystem services in agriculture. An example would be the use of natural wetlands for rice cultivation. This supports the idea in the environmental factor.
By implementing these strategies in a coordinated manner and involving stakeholders at multiple levels, it is possible to mitigate water scarcity in savanna regions and ensure the long-term sustainability of water resources for both humans and wildlife.
Unfortunately, people cause many issues in savanna: poaching or hunting, overgrazing, and destruction of land for commercial crops. Animals such as rhinoceros and zebras are endangered and threatened with extinction due to hunting, poaching, and habitat loss. Furthermore, cattle grazing also limits the amount of food available for wildlife. This is the next issue we'll talk about.
The illegal wildlife trade is the fourth largest criminal industry in the world, worth as much as $20 billion per year. Many different species are being traded illegally as pets and food. Poachers use poison, guns, and traps to kill animals illegally. The most common types of animals that are being killed are elephants, rhinos, lions, and giraffes. Decreases in the population of animals affect the carbon cycle a lot, because living organisms have a significant part in it. Therefore, cellular respiration is impossible without them. Animals in the savanna are threatened by a range of human activities, mainly motivated by monetary gains, habitat damage, and cultural traditions. The illegal poaching of unique animals for valuable body parts such as rhino horns, elephant ivory tusks, bones, and skin is extremely dangerous. Furthermore, less space is available for wildlife to thrive as a result of habitat loss caused by deforestation and agricultural use. When predators feed on cattle and provoke vengeful killings, conflict occurs. The use of animal parts in customs and rituals by certain cultures adds to the problem. Additionally, trophy hunting for recreational purposes has been shown to contribute to animal population declines. The huge biodiversity of the savanna environment is under threat by a number of causes that work together to make conservation measures to protect the species that live there. Multiple volunteers are trying to stop poaching by being around and patrolling areas where they know animals are being killed. Solutions may seem obvious, but it is still important to talk about them. First of all, governments should enforce laws, strengthen law enforcement with stricter penalties, or ban poaching and illegal wildlife trade altogether to discourage poachers from killing animals. Secondly, reduce demand. Conduct awareness campaigns to decrease the demand for wildlife products so that people will stop wanting to buy them as much, and the demand will go down, making the items from the animals less valuable. In addition, to describe how effective science is being used to address this issue, in collaboration with Dutch tech startup Hack the Planet, a British team of scientists at Stirling University has developed a new camera that could help protect elephants and other wildlife. The AI-powered device connects directly to satellites and sends real-time information to forest rangers or local villagers. Traditional instruments in this space are often hampered in remote locations by poor internet availability or having to collect recordings physically. The project team says that the technology can detect other animal species as well as humans. Therefore, it can monitor conflicts between people and wildlife as well as illegal activities in protected areas. It can even deter elephants from entering villages, the researchers say. Of course, surveillance and recording of people in these areas affects the ethical factor a lot, but on the other hand, the innovation has more positive sides than negative because the streams will be monitored by an AI, but not by other people. Another factor that may interfere with this idea is the economic factor. Many cameras will cost a lot of money. Moreover, the regions with large savannas on the territory of the countries usually face a lack of budget, so the purchase of multiple gadgets will need volunteer investments.
In conclusion, by spreading awareness about serious problems in Savannah, we can make a significant difference for the better. Inhabitants in dry biomes such as savannas are in need of help. It's important to remember about these problems and support others. Together we can help suffering animals and people.